so it's just so interesting to see everyone's different perspectives and narratives and truths and how they sort of handle this story, you know? And so yeah, it became like every little part of the taxi driver story, and what could I do to update it and sort of add this modern twist to it. You know, there's the quote unquote love story between Travis Bickle and Betsy.
Yeah.
That basically runs down as like Travis sees her in the window of the campaign office one day, stalks her for a bit until she notices, and then her coworker, who's also trying to get into her pants, like blatantly, right, chases him off. Then Travis Bickle shows up the next day with flowers, asks Betsy out at her place of work, basically doesn't take no for an answer.
Yeah, and takes her to a porn theater.
And then takes her to a porn theater.
Yeah.
And then that's when she's like, "Oh, you're
a creep." Yeah.
You're a creep." She sees what we have been seeing this entire time, like, you know. But there is no point in that story where I'm thinking, you know, like, I really hope they get together at the end. Like, I really hope they get together. I'm like, run! Like, this guy is not okay.
Yeah.
And so add a modern twist to that. It's like, okay, well, let me add that mental health sort of layer to it as well. But it became like, okay, well, how do I create that sort of feeling of like, just run, like just get out of there. And so I'm like, okay, but at the same time I also want to play with the narrative, so that's not quite what's happening. So it became a dance of like, okay, it's still happening at her work. All right, so Jules is the quote unquote love interest, because it's not really a love interest, and that's what I'm playing with, right? The cinematic language we've all been taught is that, oh, boy sees girl, love story.
Of course.
But you know, I'm fucking with the audience, and so still have it take place at work. Now I'm going to be much more on the nose about it. Jules is a barista, so now it's like a direct servitude job, right? He is the customer coming in to buy coffees, and she's the one making coffees, right?
Yeah.
And so now there's two things here now that the audience is like, oh, if any woman has been in a barista, they're like,
any kind of service job. Yeah.
They're like, nah, Okay, great. Now I'm gonna crank up the age difference. Now he's almost 40 and she's barely 25. Now everyone's like, if he asks her out, it's not just inappropriate.
Yeah.
It's disgusting and creepy and perverted. Great. And then I never have him ask her out.
Right.
In fact, I do the exact opposite. She invites him to something.
Oh.
And people are like, wait, that can't happen. I was literally told that can't happen. And I'm like, well, why can't it happen?
Yeah.
Why can't it happen? They're like, because that's just like, what are you saying? What are you doing? And I'm like, well, what I'm saying is that at this very moment in the story, she has no idea what kind of a creep he is.
Yeah.
And you do. And you're casting judgment on this guy that you're seeing suffering PTSD, who's going through these mental struggles, who's going through all this stuff. You can see him like getting pushed down this, and you are going, I don't want him, who's searching for human connection, to have this human connection.
Yeah, because
you're rooting.
Makes me feel uncomfortable.
It makes me feel uncomfortable that she doesn't seem to be threatened by this guy at this point in the story, when I know that she should be, and I'm now rooting against this thing.
Yeah.
This thing that might actually
be something that can pull him to
to stop him from doing this. Right? You're rooting against him having that human connection because you believe he's trying to get into her pants, even though, you know, the exact opposite. You know, like I went to lengths to sort of be like, no, there is nothing happening here. This is just a person who meets someone and realizes, well, that's you know, like, I like talking to you. I like, you know, like we have good communication. This is the thing that I'm looking for. And then a whole bunch of other people go, you're a monster and you're a creep. And he's like, what? You know, and it pushes him down that path. And so it becomes this again, putting screws to the audience to sort of go like, how far can I push your discomfort to really challenge your compassion? You know, like, you might say that you're a compassionate person who, you know, wants acceptance and inclusivity and diversity and I love all people. And it's like, okay, can you love this person though? Yeah. Can you show compassion for this person? Or are you going to be the I hope you get help and walk away person? Right? Because if someone is literally drowning and you say, I hope you get help, you're kind of an idiot and an asshole. But if someone is like mentally drowning all we really do say, and those people on the left, they were like, I am compassionate, I'm woke, I'm all about, I hope you get help.
Yeah.
You know, like we expect other people to do the work. And again, like it's a new topic, the mental health. Like we're still trying to like figure it out, and I know there's an uncertainty, right? There's not a necessarily an immediacy to it, like someone physically drowning, but that's sort of the thing that I wanted to start toying with. Is like I want to show you how hurt and broken this person is, and I want you to be unwoke. And how you feel about it, and then realize, oh God, that was really difficult for me to deal with, because a lot of my criticism about woke culture is that there's absolutely nothing wrong with woke culture. Like anyone who wants inclusivity and acceptance and diversity and embrace diversity and all the things that make us different, if you don't want that, you're kind of an asshole, and I don't want anything to do with you. Yeah. But if you're the type of person who says that they're woke, accept, you're not really, like, you know, like the challenge is love thy enemy, not love thy friend. Any asshat can love thy friend.
Yeah, exactly. It's finding the common ground with people that you don't agree with, that you can find a way to make a connection.
Exactly.
It's